Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Tiny Grouper back at it again with a brand new Marvel Rivals video. Today we're going to be covering some of the news. We have some updates coming up, some patches, some bug work, some fixes, some new skins, some skin reworks, and some hero balancing. And at the end I'll probably just touch on just a little bit, just briefly, all the controversy that's been circling Marvel Rivals for the past week. But without any further ado, let's just hop straight on into it. So as we can see here, we have a new event coming called the Hellfire Gala Moments, and no more wondering if whether or not this Wolverine skin will be coming in the store, the battle pass, or if it's free. We can see from May 2nd to May 23rd, you will have a chance to unlock this free Wolverine patch costume and stand out from the crowd.
Maximum impact.
So common Marvel Rivals W here. This is a 6 skin. They're giving it to us for free. When many people would even buy this skin. This is a good quality skin, not a recolor, just a whole new skin. So just major W. Staying on the thread of skins though, we have 2 new skins coming in the store. We have the Winter Soldier Thunderbolts bundle, and we have the Black Panther Damisa Sarki skin. I hope I said that right. Also coming to the store. They are epic and legendary skins respectively. Yeah, so you just see Bucky right here riding this motorcycle. It's just so cool, and I believe this is a scene from the movie where he flips the car. Definitely gonna watch that next week. And here we got Black Panther. His senses, just alert him that it's a tree. He scares it. He's like, come on, just give me a fist bump. And yeah, bro. These are some good skins, good MVPs. Also, they are fixing 2 skins already in the game. The Thor Lord of Asgard. They have fixed the size of the fur on his cape so that your crosshair is no longer obstructed because it was kind of big. So I guess they're just going to make it a little bit smaller. And with the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness costume, they are actually making it bigger, on the flip side of that coin, right? So they're adding the hands to the skin. Previously the hands only appeared when you did your ultimate and when you did your magic expulsion. To be honest, that is the reason that I didn't buy the skin. I was kind of on the fence. I was like, the skin is cool, but I want the hands to show in-game. So now that the hands are going to be there in-game, I think I will be picking up this skin. And here we have some gameplay with the Strange skin, and they didn't even say that they were adding a voice filter, but it is so cool. I don't know if everyone in the lobby is gonna hear it or if just the person that owns the skin, but it's an instant buy at this point now, right? And here we see the cool Thor skin, still keeping the same aesthetic with the fur on the back, but you can actually see what you're doing now. So yeah, be sure to pick up these skins if you love these characters. Another thing though about this skin, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw it over the end of the atmosphere. Hopefully the devs listen, right? They should switch the introduction and the MVP animation for that Strange skin. So yeah, you could see him just coming out of the grave, looking at the demons flying around, trying to fight him off, grabbing some, destroying some, and just the hands creeping in as he unleashed his souls, bro. This should be the MVP right here. But what we have is this, it's okay, but it just pales so much to the intro. Alright, so new content. You can now switch all costume specific sound effects back to the default ones via the settings. So legendary skins, they have sound effects. Like, I bought the legendary Loki skin. It has a sound effect when you place your staff, when you transform, when you go invisible. But if you don't like those sound effects for whatever reason, you can always go into the settings and equip the normal sound effects, which are, just more quiet and more simple for those that like that. Also in season 2, the biggest thing here is they are calibrating the baseline data for each hero's performance score, which is a big deal. For example, if you played Human Torch, a character who could pump out damage like crazy, he often got higher points when his team won, and he lost less points if his team lost the match. So he just would have been a better hero for ranking up. Whereas on the flip side of that coin, if you were playing a healer, because they don't do that much damage or they don't get that many final hits, they would receive less points when they won, and they would lose more points when they lost. So that kind of ties into the healer strike that we'll talk about later in the video. So it's good to see that they're addressing that and fixing that. It's pretty swift. They did it within a week time. I don't know how fixed is it, or if it's better, if it's worse. We'll see as time goes on. But they did something about it. And lock accounts can now initiate the account deletion process, even from a logged out state. So I'm not quite sure what this is about, but if you guys were ever locked out of your account or logged out of your account and you want to delete it, you now can. So yeah, that's just a touch on the new content. So now just a little touch on the fixes, what we have going on here. They squashed a bug in competitive where an occasional map glitch incorrectly displayed checkpoint gate statuses. And I'm not quite sure. I rarely realize what's going on with the bugs and patches in the games. I don't know if it's just because I don't catch it in time or if it just simply doesn't happen to me. But yeah. And they reined in some mischief in the final part of the Empire of Eternal Night Midtown map, where Loki's illusion could be placed in unexpected locations. See, same thing here. I main Loki and I have no idea what this is about. Or maybe I was putting them in the unexpected locations, and going into this new patch I realize I can't put them there anymore. And they fixed an issue in giant size brain blasts. I have yet to play this mode, where destroying enemy summons would also count towards enlarging the hero's heads. So I guess every time you hurt someone or destroy someone, kill someone, their head gets bigger. And I guess if you make a Loki clone and someone destroys it, it kind of counts as you getting killed and your head getting bigger. So if you guys are having a problem with that in the Brain Blast mode, that is also fixed. Now some bugs here for the heroes. We have 7 of these. We have Stealth Special Breaker, where the Wolverine fastball special requests, while Invisible Woman Ultimate, would sometimes result in an abnormal invisibility effect. So that's scary. Invisible Wolverine just running around. Poor Groots, right? An unexpected thing, where they rocked out a fix issue that allowed the Thing and Battle Leap to target enemies within Invisible Woman's ultimate. Now he will be as clueless as he should be. So it looks like Invisible Woman Ultimate was having some kind of a lot of bugs going around. So I guess the Thing could have just jumped on any teammates, even though they should have been invisible to him. So that's a fine fix. That's the way it should be, right? And Cloak and Dagger's shield shenanigans, where they've zapped a bug when their ultimate was sneakily still do damage to foes protected by Magneto's Iron Bulwark and Hulk's Indestructible Guard. So for you guys that don't know, Magneto's Bulwark and Hulk's Indestructible Guard are the bubble abilities that protects their teammates. And apparently Cloak and Dagger still dealt damage through that. So that's obviously something that should have been fixed. I haven't noticed it, but the damage that you get from the ult is kind of small. So I'm pretty sure most people didn't notice it. Now we have Wolverine's Aerial Annihilator. They fixed a flaw in the second stage of his ultimate, where mid-air knockbacks lost their bite and dealt no damage. Now when Wolverine soars into the fray, every strike is felt with raw power of a true berserker. So, yeah, that's another problem that gotta get fixed. Wolverine Ultimate not doing damage is a big deal. So Wolverine means rest assured. Star-Lord's Rocket Revamp eliminated the occasional speed decay glitch in Rocket's propulsion ability, impacting his smooth movement. Now every blast-off is as snappy and daring as a mixtape drop from the Milano. So there you go. Star-Lord means you guys got your movement fixed whenever you took the rocket propulsion. And Mr. Fantastic's Fantastic Flex fix. Oh boy, these are some names. These are some real tongue twisters, right? We've untangled the issue in his flexible elongation ability, where hitting targets inside portals costs unexpected displacement. Now when Mr. Fantastic bends the limit of physics, his moves are as smart and precise as his genius. So I guess if you guys are trying to hit through a portal, it got it even more wonky with the stretchy and elastic man arms. So that's fixed. And Ascender's Altitude Assurance. Fix a network instability related bug that could sometimes abruptly yank wall climbing heroes back down to the ground after reaching the highest point. Now every climb is as steady and heroic as your soaring ambitions. So that's it. That's all the gameplay, bugs, and fixes that they have. And that's some of the new content coming to look forward to. I certainly am looking forward to the Wolverine skin. Wolverine means you guys are eating good. You have the classic Wolverine skin. You have that the Van Helsing skin from season 1. And now you guys got the tuxedo with the eye patch skin. Wolverine means are eating really good on the skins. But moving along to what we've been waiting for, right? So we have the heroes balancing in patches. So before I get into this, one thing I want to state that I don't think that they state here is the Marvel Rival devs say that they want to keep the hero balancing to a minimum, meaning that they only want to touch the heroes when a new season happens. So at the beginning or ending of a season, or mid-season, so season 1 or season 1.5, season 2, season 2.5, that's when you will see the big changes in the hero balancing. So for us to get hero balancing right now, just like smack dab in the middle of the season 2.5, this is kind of a big deal. But that also means that they are not going to be making as drastic changes as they normally would. So I just want to preface that with that. Preface this with that. So getting into it, we have 3 Vanguards that are being changed, starting off with Captain America. The Sentinel of Liberty will see some reduction to his survivability. So they're reducing his base health from 650 to 600. So his shield went from 400 to 350, and now his health is going from 650 to 600. So all in all, Captain America has lost 100 HP, hit points since in the last 2 updates. Which, honestly, if you're a Captain America man, you're obviously sad to lose his 50 health. If you absolutely hate Captain America, you're like, bro, he should go down even more. I personally think Captain America health should be like 550, because he still has crazy movement ability. He still has an ult that keeps him alive for so long. Like, think about it. How much times was a Captain America literally just running around, bunny hopping on the point, the whole entire team, 6v1 situation. You're trying to kill him, and right when you finally get his health low enough, he pops his ultimate, runs around on the point like a madman, and by then, his full team is back, and there you go, you have an overtime fight. I get that's what the character is supposed to do, but considering now that he has that animation cancel where he actually is a threat to kill people, I feel like Captain America just is a little too annoying. So I personally would say his health should go down to 550, but this is still a nice change regardless though. Doctor Strange. Steven will experience a reduction in the energy cost of his ultimate ability, amplifying his mystical menace on the battlefield. So they are decreasing the energy cost to unleash the Eye of Agamotto from 3,400 to 3,100. I believe the lowest in the game is 2,800, so that's characters like Squirrel Girl, Spider-Man, and maybe Star-Lord, I believe. It's a couple other characters, but and Moon Knight. Those are the some off my head. So they brought him from on the higher end down to like lower end. I mean, it is a buff, right? There's no nerf about it. It is a buff. But like I said, begin at season 2.5, you might see a buff to Strange to bring him back up into that high A tier, maybe even S tier position that he once used to hold. But all in all, they're just trying to keep him somewhat playable. I mean, he is playable, don't get me wrong. It's just weird that he went from like the best tank in the game to like bottom half mid tier tank. So Doctor Strange means you guys are suffering, and I get it. Now with Groot, I've recently been playing some Groot. I'm trying to get him to Lord. He's currently at Centurion. Let's see what they did here. The Flora Colossi ability to isolate enemies and block damage will take a minor hit. So they are reducing the health of the Iron Wood Wall from 700 to 600. So it lost 100 health. So 700 is kind of like a beefy boy. Like that's the biggest tanks in the game. Down to 600, which is more kind of standard. Like that's where most tanks reside. Kind of chill at. It's a change. If you're Groot, you're gonna feel the change. If you're not Groot, I don't think you're gonna notice the change. So You know, the group mains are going to be kind of pissy. The community that hates Groot are going to be kind of pissy. I don't think this one pleases anyone right here. But it is something that, I don't know. We'll have to see how it is going into it. But I think it makes a slight difference. You know, because the objective with Groot is to wall off heals, isolate enemies, and kill them off. So this doesn't change that game plan all that much. Because by the time the team carries it from 600 to 0, a good enough Groot is going to confirm that kill on anyone who was trapped behind that wall anyway. So we'll see. Now for the duelists. We have two duelists, Spider-Man and Winter Soldier, right? We're tightening the webbing on Spider-Man's hit detection range. So they're decreasing the amazing combo, that is his uppercut, from 5 meter radius to 4 meter radius. I feel like this is like the Groot situation, just like a little bit more extreme. Because the hitbox on it is huge, right? But if you're a Spider-Man main, going from 5 meters to 4 meters, it's like, you know, I don't think this really affects any kills that a good Spider-Man like could get. And when I say good, I mean like any Spider-Man, because you have to be a good Spider-Man to play him in competitive, right? I know some people don't do it, but you know. And yeah, so I feel like this is something that it changed. Spider-Man is, air quotes here, weaker, but he's still gonna be the same. It doesn't affect nothing, honestly, in my opinion. Now let's look at Bucky. Bucky's getting a combat upgrade. Oh boy. Ramping up his threat level and firepower on the battlefield. Adjust his tainted voltage ability to have 2 charge levels while keeping the cooldown time unchanged. So it's clear that there's a Bucky fanboy over at NetEase over there, right? Now, when I first read this, when I saw 2 charge levels, I thought that they meant Bucky can charge his tainted voltage to like get either a stronger blast or a bigger blast or something. But no, I recently went into practice to check it out, and Bucky does in fact have 2 tainted voltages with no cooldown. So yes, you could double tap the button and launch 2. Meaning Bucky will now shoot 3 shots, tainted voltage, another 3 shots, tainted voltage, another 3 shots, and then he still has his hook, he still has his uppercut. Quite honestly, this tainted voltage buys him a lot of time to let his uppercut, to let his bionic hook charge. So it's kind of, in a way, it kind of does away with the bionic hook charge nerf, because Bucky. The thing is with Bucky abilities, right, and why giving 2 of him is just honestly madness in my opinion. Every move he does reloads his weapon, and it also gives him over health. So you not only just gave him a next ability to do damage, you gave him another reload, you gave him more health to get, and this means he can. He deals with flyers a lot better too now, because this knocks down flyers. But you're gonna have your opponents being slowed down for longer because you're gonna double up on it. It's just, I don't know, it's just madness, honestly. For the people that thought that the Bucky nerfs bumped him down to A tier, B tier, he definitely is S tier again.
Armed and dangerous. Again. 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 Again.
This is ridiculous. It honestly is ridiculous. And I play Bucky. I almost have Bucky at Lord. He was in a fine place. This nerf was not needed, especially when you have characters like Black Widow in the game. And, like, damn it. Oh, boy. That's a L. This is a L right here. Moving on to strategists, though. We have 4 strategists getting buffed. Now, just a little bit of context before getting into this. NetEase addressed the situation going on with the supports right now. And that they are being dove. They are being dove. That probably is why they gave Bucky a second hit, now that I think about it, right? Because Bucky is pretty good at anti-dive. Supports are being dove, so they are saying they want to make supports more of a threat and able to defend themselves in the back line. Let's see how this pans out. They picked Adam Warlock, Cloak and Dagger, Lunar Snow, and Mantis. Good thing Loki is not here, because he really does big damage, right? I say that as a Loki main. So with Adam Warlock, we're enhancing the Avatar of Life sustainability to keep him fighting for cosmic justice. Added a new effect to Quantum Magic. When a critical hit lands on an enemy, reduce the cooldown of Avatar Lifestream by 1 second. So if you don't know, Avatar Lifestream is Adam Warlock's only healing ability. He has 2 of them, and it takes 6 seconds to charge. Now you might be saying 6 seconds is quick, but when you don't have a R2 healing ability, like I believe every other heal, no, Mantis doesn't have it. Like most healers in the game having to only 2 heals. Nah, that's big heals. Don't get me wrong. Adam Warlock struggles to keep his team engaged in a full-on brawl, like a quick, fast-paced battle. Like damage is just getting pumped out on either side. That's Adam Warlock's weakest point. So with him now being able to do headshots and reduce that by 1 second, so you turn a 6 second cooldown to 5 to 4 to 3, depending on how much headshots you get. That is something. I don't think it's that big of a deal, unless they're counting his L2, where he can charge up his quantum shield, because he shoots 5 of them. So if he could hit that, he could essentially just remove the cooldown for his Avatar Lifestream entirely. But all in all, it still is something. It is a buff, so small W for Adam Warlock means. We'll see if that makes a big deal. I doubt it shakes up anything, but yeah. Cloak and Dagger. Tai and Tandy are sharpening their blades and cloaks for more impactful strikes. As Cloak, they increase the Dark Force from 75 to 80 per second. I honestly don't think that this needed to get buffed, especially when they already buffed the Terracate from 20% damage boost to 28% damage boost. I feel like Cloak does pretty decent damage. But Dagger does need it, so let's see what they did here. Dagger increases the damage of Light Force. Dagger hits on enemies from 15 to 18. This is solid. I feel like 15 to 20, that might have been too much. So I feel like 15 to 18 is solid, but like you don't really want to do damage for Cloak and Daggers anyway. Maybe in a situation when you're healing and you just have to shoot like 1 or 2 on them, and then it just, I don't know, it's kind of weird situation now. But yeah, it is something. So W for Cloak and Dagger means. Luna Snow. We're ramping up this K-pop sensation damage outputs when she strikes enemies from a distance. Adjust the damage fall off from light and dark ice from 60% at 40 meters to 75% at 40 meters. So Luna Snow is obviously going to be better at poke, because she could, while she's healing, she can also deal more damage to enemies from afar. But that's not really what she needed. She needed just a little bit more protection on the dive. Because, yeah, she could slide away, but that has startup time. Where other characters could go invisible or just make themselves intangible. And, yeah, she has an ice ball that stuns enemies. But, like I said, dive is pretty ridiculous. And it is really miserable to be a support right now. So, her not getting any kind of thing to help her with dive, because she literally will still do the same damage on anyone that's diving her, it's kind of sucked. This is a little L for Luna Snow, but at the same time it's a little W because she's getting buff, not nerf. But yeah, she kind of needs some more protection. All supports need more protection. I think Loki is like one of the only ones who could hold his own against a dive. Mantis. So we're empowering Mantis damage output to reflect her true fighting spirit. Increase the hit damage of life energy blast from 50 to 55. So that's good. All in all, that's a pretty decent buff to Mantis, especially when you consider she buffs herself. Let me see exactly how much something. Okay, yeah, so her natural anger gives her a 12% damage boost. So I'm just doing some quick maths in my head. Definitely don't quote me on these numbers. So I believe 12% of that would make her. Okay, so her going to 55 is kind of where she sat at when she already buffed her damage. So because when she buffed the damage at 50 damage, it went to 56, I believe. So now it's 55 at base, meaning that they will get 62 when she buffs herself from now on. Mantis is she's a little bit scarier now. She's a bigger threat now. Yeah, so that's something for her there. And lastly, we have the team up abilities, where, yeah. Alright, so Captain America and Winter Soldier, the stars align. A legendary alliance that gets an even mightier boost. I don't know if they want to use the words even mightier when this is probably the weakest team up in the game. Upon leaping to a teammate, Stellar Impact will provide 50 bonus out to allies within range. So, yeah, I believe only Bucky can do that. Captain America only can clash with Bucky. So I guess Bucky can now jump around and give his teammates 50 bonus health, which is something. I mean, so I don't know. Coupling that with the double tainted voltage though is crazy. Bucky's back on top, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah. And like I said, lastly, I just want to cover the recent controversy with the healing thing. So recently, one of Marvel Rivals streamers by the name of Necros, if you guys follow the community, I'm pretty sure you know who he is. He's one of the bigger guys. In season 1, I believe he made a video where he said supports are boosted, right? And he said it is the easiest role to play in the game. Also, before I get into my thoughts on that, he said people are now sending him death threats on it, which is ridiculous. Like, come on, guys. Let's grow up for a second. You know, it's not that serious. It is a game. It is a game that gets people tilted, myself included, right? But it's not that serious. It is one guy's opinion. No need to go that far, right? But now my thoughts on the situation is, mechanically, supports are the easiest role to play, right? Maybe tank. It may be tank, but it's between those two. DPS is definitely mechanically the hardest role to play, right? But this is where the difference is. Mechanically, supports are easier because supports have to manage their kit between keeping the team alive, keeping themselves alive, and actually dealing damage and fighting off divers or people in front of their tanks, right? Now, you guys may be saying, oh, you know, that's still not a big deal. But look at it this way, right? With the supports, they are always in a stationary position. You always know where to find them. They're always going to be right behind the team, right behind the tanks, healing them, trying to get the point push. They cannot move, because the minute they move, the tanks and their other fellow DPS, the whole team dies, right? So they are kind of locked and limited in their mobility. So they have to stay there and defend themselves. So with them having a weaker kit, going up against a DPS, say you're playing Spider-Man, you're playing Psylocke, you're playing Magic, you don't have a set position. You could be anywhere you want on the map. You can leave your team as freely as you need, because DPS don't directly affect their other teammates the same way a tank or a support is needed to be in position. What I'm saying that is to say this. A Spider-Man, for example, can literally swing around, wait on a ledge, watch the supports use their cooldowns, then zip in with his 3 to 5 abilities specifically tailored to kill a support and fight that support whilst they are trying to keep themselves alive, heal their team, and deal damage and fight the Spider-Man off. So with the DPS, you memorize your combos, you literally go in the game, you just have to be like, alright, this is when I'm going to engage, and that's it. With the support, you have to fight against that same person who's put all that time and skill into training how to kill you, whilst not being able to move or hide or reposition too much, and keeping your team alive, keeping yourself alive. So it's like, I don't know, but supports definitely have the most to manage in the game, and I think that their role is just harder than the DPS role, because the DPS role is simple. You go and you kill. You remember your combo, you just have to do it. You just have to have the finger skills for it. With support, you kind of have to have the finger skills depending on which one you're playing. You also have to have the biggest brain on the team. That's just what it is. You know, you have to see things, counter things, manage a lot of cooldowns. Your ultimate is the most important. A DPS whiffs on their ultimate, it's like, whatever. You whiff on a support ultimate, it's like the end of the world all of a sudden. So that's just my 2 takes on it, you know. Mechanically, DPS is the hardest role to play, but at the same time, it is the most forgiving, because your team doesn't require as much coordination from you, and you can make more mistakes. So with that out of the way, that's the end of the video. Just my 2 cents on the matter, guys. See you guys next time.